Hi everyone, welcome to the video. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to focus on ways to store cryptocurrencies. And if you haven't seen the video already for ways to buy cryptos, well, I'm going to include a link to that just above. It should be in the corner of the screen, and something for you to look at future reference. Story here, ways to store cryptos. I've done it in order of preference, so to speak, and let's have a look at Ledger. Ledger and Trezor are two ways to store cryptocurrencies offline. So these are called hardware wallets in the space. And this resembles, as you can see, something like a USB, and it's never actually directly, or your funds are never on the internet through this. It can get transferred to the device, but you need to connect this device via a cable, and it's almost impossible for someone to steal these funds. So very secure, and it is quite user-friendly. As time has progressed, they've added more assets. It just constantly gets easier to use. You can store more data on them. And you can even now, I think with the Ledger Nano X, you can link that to your phone. So you can see, you can see the assets that you've got. Same with Trezor, similar concept. And it's just hardware wallets out there. So something to look into. I'd always recommend reading the reviews and seeing what works best for you. Pros and cons with both. Moving on to Exodus. This is like a desktop wallet. I think you can also get it on your phone as well. I've not actually used Exodus, but it reviews very well. Been used by, say, thousands of users, probably tens of thousands throughout the world, and people tend to be fairly happy with it based on these ratings. Again, do your own research and you be the judge. It is very user-friendly, secure overall, but probably never as secure as, say, a hardware wallet. Just something to bear in mind. Because it reviews well and it is reputable, I think it's still, I'd still recommend it based on the reviews, and people have been talking about this for years. So as it's now a brand name, so to speak, very simple to use and to transfer assets or transfer from one to another. So like Bitcoin to Ethereum, for example. Something to consider. Going onto the exchanges now. Two of biggest exchanges in the space, Coinbase and Binance. Some people do store cryptos on Coinbase or on the exchanges in general. The vault is a way to store your cryptos through the exchange, but the funds, you can't actually access the funds for up to 2 days. So this time delayed withdrawal helps in the event of unauthorized access, and you can have multiple approvers. And Coinbase says they store 98% of their funds offline. So I guess they'll probably be using those hardware wallets as well. But it's just something that's gives an option, or say peace of mind for the average user who likes to have this on an exchange. Many people in the crypto sphere don't advise having large amounts of money on exchanges. Anything could happen. Exchanges have been hacked. Something could go wrong. Funds will go missing. These are all possibilities. The likelihood of this happening, especially with larger exchanges, still slim, but there's always the risk. I always say, never put all your eggs in one basket. Always spread your funds out, because the likelihood of everything getting hacked is almost impossible, to be honest. So something to consider. And there's a story later on about what happens when you lose all your funds, whether it's because of your own misfortune or, someone else's, but it's a bit of a story for the end. Now, Electrum, following on from Exodus, is a way to store your funds, say online, but the thing is you have access to the private keys, or like say they stay on the computer. If you're wondering what on earth is a private key, to be really simple, it's like your password to be able to access your funds, and it's done through a very sophisticated form of like calculating things, like all these mathematical equations with, like, say, it's called cryptography, very complex. We're going to be how would I say it? That would be digressing if I discussed that, but just to give you something to look into, to give a basic understanding of that. Now, you have full access to this. There are ways to access your funds if you lose access to the private keys. Still probably not as desirable as an offline wallet. I still tend to favor these offline wallets, or even like Exodus, I think rates very well. And moving on to my Ether wallet. This is like being a work in progress. It is constantly, can't even speak English, apologies, continuously improved. And I haven't accessed this in a while. This is how I remember it, and it's pretty cool. They've actually still kept the vintage version of this. But the new version is a lot more user-friendly, and it looks more like something in 2019. And Ethereum and lots of other cryptos that use like the Ethereum blockchain, so to speak, or based on Ethereum, to keep it simple. And the good thing is, through these wallets, Ledger and Trezor, you can access my Ether wallet. The funds are offline. But some people just create their own online wallet, and then they have to write down all the codes and all, and then you have to enter a password. That's if you want to bypass the whole hardware wallet thing. Bear with me, I know there's a lot of info, but with using these websites as a starting point and reading reviews, you'll build your knowledge base with this. So, a ton of options out there, and can get confusing. Now, wrapping up here, I thought I would throw in this Bitcoin paper wallet. There are some people who like to create their own paper wallet, print it out and all, and you've got this QR code. Let's have a zoom in here. It looks like this. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know many people that do this. I think those who do are in the minority. It just sounds like the amount of effort that goes into this for the output you get, I think it's questionable, especially with all these other modern alternatives. Because you print it out, and if you lose it, I think it's pretty hard to get it backed up and to recover your funds. And yeah, it just looks weird. Anyway, that is an option. I thought I'd include it. Last option, which I haven't used any of these, but I'd throw them in, and they're probably appealing for the average person. There are these Bitcoin wallets or crypto wallets for Apple and Android smartphones. Here is a story to the man who threw away $80 million worth of Bitcoin. Well, it was $80 million as it approached its peak. It's still in the tens of millions of dollars that he's lost. I spare a thought for him. To summarize the story, he bought the cryptos, he dumped them in mid-2013 so the crypto was on a hard drive. He threw it out. He didn't realize that he had 7,500 Bitcoin on the hard drive, and it's been a long battle to try and recover these, or to try and get access to recover this hard drive. As I said before, please do not put all your eggs in one basket, and also never invest more than you're willing to lose. This is not legal, tax, and or financial advice, but just my opinions here. I think most people are sensible out there. However, don't fall into the trap, and if the market does pick up again and go nuts, don't get swallowed up in all that hype. That'll be a wrap for today. Thank you very much. I appreciate all your support. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment. More than happy to help with any info or any queries you may have. Feel free to like and share this. Subscribe if you'd like more content. There's a ton of info out there, and I'll be providing you with updates along the way and some more crypto news. I won't be posting as much this month because it's a chaotic month. However, this will be an ongoing work. I'm not like those fair weather fans who will come when the space is booming and then go when the space is collapsing. I'm here, rain, hail, or shine, like so many others in the space. Good on them if they've weathered the storm, because I think 2019 and 2020 will be big years for crypto, and beyond should be big as well. Anyway, that's a wrap. Thank you very much. Have a good day. See ya.